Moby's Kitchen, and today we're gonna make something that I've kind of been thinking about. I may have seen a video or two in the past on this, but I love that Boursin cheese. So you dip the crackers in, you know, that's on like a charcuterie board. And I thought, why not use that to make a pasta sauce? So what we're gonna do today is make a fresh tomato Boursin pasta. So we're gonna use that Boursin in the sauce, and we're gonna use some fresh tomatoes, and of course we're gonna use our Cento San Marzanos. Take a look at the ingredients. It's really simple. We're gonna keep this easy, so this is something you could probably make on a weeknight when you're pressed for time. So let's start at the front here. Of course, we need some fresh basil. We're gonna have some garlic here, a yellow onion, of course my favorite, fresh Pecorino Romano, some red pepper flake. The star of the show is the Boursin garlic and fine herb cheese. We're gonna have some of these fresh sort of cherry tomatoes. I got the multicolored ones for this. And of course my favorite, the Cecco pasta. We're gonna use the Bucatini, but you could use any kind of pasta there for this. We've got also my other favorite is Cento San Marzano peeled tomatoes. We're gonna use that. Some fresh extra virgin olive oil, and of course some salt and pepper. All right, let's get right into it. All right, so we're gonna start with our olive oil. Now, don't be shy with this. We're gonna put in a good amount there to start. We're gonna put all of our tomatoes in. We've got 4 big cloves of garlic. Throw that in there. We quartered our yellow onion. That's gonna go in there as well. A little bit of red pepper flake. If you don't like spice, then you don't have to add this. We like spice in our house, so we're gonna do the red pepper flake. Then we're gonna do a little bit of kosher salt. Maybe, you know, salt to taste, but I'm putting probably about a teaspoon in there at this time because we can always add later. Then you're gonna finish with some fresh cracked black pepper. Let's add a little bit more olive oil too on top, why not? There we go. Okay, we're over at the stove here, and Kipper's getting a little crazy in the background. Maybe we'll show her on this video. It's been a little while since you've seen her. Once we start cooking, I guarantee she'll be in here. So we're over at the stove. We're gonna get a low heat going on our tomatoes and garlic and onion mixture here. So come on over here, Bobby, take a look at it. We're gonna get a low heat, and we're just gonna let this kind of simmer, almost like this Dutch oven effect's gonna happen, kind of like what would happen in the oven, because we're gonna cover this, and we're gonna let this go for a good like 20, maybe even 30 minutes. Just let everything kind of caramelize and all the tomatoes get nice and soft, and then we'll show you the next step from there. We'll be back with you shortly. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes since we got our pot on low here. I also added another pot of water that we're getting boiling for the pasta in a little bit here. So let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, that looks good. Tomatoes are getting nice and soft. Caramelization's happening with those onions and that garlic. It smells amazing. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna take our Boursin cheese. I'm gonna pop it right there in the middle. And we're gonna cover this for another 10 minutes and just let it keep going on low heat. All right, it's been about 8 minutes, and let's take a look at our mixture here. Our tomatoes look like they're starting to split a little bit, so I think we're good to go to our next step. We're gonna add in our entire can of Cento San Marzanos. These are so good, I'm telling you guys. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is maybe add a few basil leaves in there. Stir it up. We're gonna use an immersion blender here. If you don't have one of those, you can use a regular blender in the next step. So that's why I'm keeping everything kind of chunky, but it's gonna be nice and smooth and creamy when it's all done. We're gonna stir this in. We're gonna let these flavors kind of combine together. I wanna add a little bit more salt at this point. Maybe, another teaspoon or so. And then we're gonna add a little bit more fresh cracked black pepper. Maybe half a teaspoon here. Salt and pepper to taste, to your liking. And then what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of fresh Pecorino Romano at this stage too. This will help give it some nice flavor. And remember, this has some saltiness to it also. So that's why you don't want to over salt. I'm gonna put, I love Pecorino Romano, as you guys all know by now. And if you're new to the channel, you'll find out. I put it on a lot of things. So maybe about a, I don't know, quarter cup there. We'll stir that all in. And then we're gonna cover this and we're gonna let it keep simmering on low for probably another 10 minutes. In the meantime, we're cranking our water up, getting that boiling. We're gonna get that pasta in some salted boiling water very shortly. Okay, so we've got a whole box of Bucatini, 1 pound here. I'm gonna get this in our boiling salted water. Let that get going. And then our next step, we're going to use our immersion blender and get everything nice and smooth with this sauce here. All right, our pasta's in the pot boiling next to us here. This is what our sauce is looking like. It looks so good, kind of creamy, tomatoey goodness. So it's time to get this immersion blender going and get this all combined nicely. If you, like I said, if you don't have one of these, you can use a regular blender, but these are super handy because I don't have to take anything out of this pot. You just get it underneath here and just start blending away. All right, so here's the consistency after we blended it all up. It's nice and creamy. It almost looks like a tomato bisque soup, as Bobby said off camera. I tested it and it's so good. It's really good, but it does need a little bit of more salt, in my opinion. Like I said, salt to taste. I'm gonna put maybe another half a teaspoon of salt in here. I use kosher salt, that's my favorite. Okay, we're gonna stir this all up and we're gonna keep letting this simmer while that pasta cooks. When your pasta is about 2 minutes away from al dente, you're gonna put it in this sauce and let it finish cooking in here and it'll just absorb that flavor. Don't ever overcook your pasta because it does not take on the sauce. It just becomes real rubbery and not quite good to the flavor here. So we'll be back with you shortly when we add that pasta in. Okay, our pasta is about a minute or two away from al dente, so we're gonna get this in the sauce. Our sauce is, got it turned up to like a medium-low heat. So let me get this all in there and I'll be right back with you. I'll show you stirring it up. Don't get rid of this pasta water though, that's gonna be key. We're gonna add a little bit of that in there as well. Okay, we've got all of our bucatini in the sauce here. I'm gonna get just a little scoop of this pasta water. This helps bring it together. It's got some nice flavor. And what we're gonna do is just kind of finish for the last couple minutes with the lid off so some of that evaporation can happen. We're just gonna let the pasta cook in here and finish until we're about al dente. So about 2 minutes. Just look at this, guys. I loaded on some of that sauce. We're gonna add some fresh Pecorino Romano. You know me. And then let's make it fancy. Put a little bit of these basil leaves on top. We're gonna take a thumbnail and we'll be right back for taste testing time. So as you can see, guys, that was super simple. Just kind of came up with this recipe in my head. You went on the journey with me. I've never made this. Just kind of threw these things together. The sauce tasted really good without the pasta, so I'm assuming it's gonna be really good. We've got our Pecorino Romano on there. Let's take, it's taste test time. I mean, it's that simple. Let's test it out. Get a big bite. Now this could burn my face off, but I'm gonna do it for you all right now.
Delicious.
It's really good. It's really, really good. It was hot. I had to get it down. Really good. Make this for your family at home. This would go really good with like a roasted chicken or some grilled Italian sausages since there's no meat in it. Or if you're vegetarian, perfect dish for you. Here you go. Vegetarians, we got you handled on this one. Thank you guys for stopping by Moby's Kitchen, and keep checking back and like, subscribe, comment on our videos. And if you make any of our recipes, we'd love to hear about it. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, and obviously we're on YouTube as well. So thanks again for stopping by.